The Angry Chicken is a production of Amove TV. Bookmark amove.tv for more gaming and esports shows. The Angry Chicken is directly supported by listeners like you via patreon.com/TAC.
Hey everyone! Get in here! Ready for action! I've got the beast in my sight.
A podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. This is The Angry Chicken.
I hope everybody out there listening has a lot of work to get done today because this is going to be one hell of an episode of The Angry Chicken. I'm Garrett Weinzerl, and I'm joined as always by Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Moffat. I think we're all done traveling for a while.
For a while, yes, please.
Are we good?
Everyone can just come to me for Christmas, okay? I'm not going there. Wherever
that is literally what we said too. We're just like, nope. We are going to stay where we are. We're not driving anywhere. We're not flying anywhere. Technically, I'm working DreamHack Sweden, but I'm not actually going
in
there.
Sweden?
Yeah, I just have to wake up stupid early.
Cool. That's how I like to travel. In my pajamas, in my office chair. That's my favorite way.
It's weird that for whatever reason in our line of work, November becomes like the busiest travel month.
I was actually away from home more days in November than I was in my home.
That was October for me. Yep.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, by the way, this is the first time I've gotten Legend in a really long time. And I was like, I think the travel had a lot to do with it. I spent a lot of time sitting in airports just playing Hearthstone at an airport bar. And that's like not normal for me to just...
I played a lot of Murloc. I played the most on my phone while watching the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna play some mindless Murloc Mage games and hope I get lucky.
Oh right, because you guys had Thanksgiving too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was the second trip for me.
No joke. I know we have a lot of cards to talk about, but I would rather take a second on the show to just mention that I just had lunch and it was Thanksgiving leftovers and it was wonderful.
Nice.
Turkey sandwiches for days.
That's another reason, like, not to travel for Thanksgiving. I had to leave all the leftovers behind and get on a plane and come back here. I'm so tempted to go to the HEB and just get like a chicken and some stuffing and some mashed potatoes, some cranberry sauce, and just make it again.
I have done that before because I really wanted turkey sandwiches. I'm like, I'm just gonna. Does the grocery store just have a turkey breast off the bone? It does. All right, that's what we're doing. Hey, we've got a metric shit ton of cards to use a technical term to discuss today. But before we get into that, we did want to PSA for our listeners out there. If you are the Fireside Gathering attending type, pre-releases are coming back for Rastakhan's Rumble, and they are firing up in 3 days. They will start on the 30th, and they will run through the 3rd because we are T-minus 1 week until Rastakhan's Rumble releases next Tuesday.
Yeah, actually, I haven't even checked into if we're having another one here, but I would assume we are with the heavy Austin Blizzard presence. So I'm going to have to look into that and try to check one out. Yeah. It was a lot of fun last time. I'm very curious to see if they refined some of the rough edges that we had during the last one. Yeah.
There's an interesting brawl here. At least I think so, unless I misinterpreted it. And this is how one of the constructed brawl was last time. There's no restriction on duplicates or anything for the build-a-deck brawl.
No, that definitely was not how it worked last time.
Just making sure. Because just today I was there were so many cards to talk about. I almost missed that there were pre-releases, and I saw it in a tweet, and I was like, oh, let me check this out. I'm sure it's just a couple brawls. It's not worth talking about. And I'm like, wait a minute, does that say no restrictions on class or duplicates? Which it does.
I don't understand what that means.
I think it means you can play with any cards that you want and as many of the cards that you want.
But does that mean you can put like hunter cards in a priest?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I get from this.
I am done traveling. I'm not going to Orlando. I don't care but this is awesome and I want to do it. I just don't want to travel to a Fireside. That sounds nuts. Can we have a show tournament with this? This sounds bananas.
I don't understand. I'm going to have to see this in person because this is making sense to my little tiny brain right now. But okay, so the last one, you couldn't play anything except for Boomsday cards and classic, I don't even think it was classic cards. It was only basics. Yeah.
Oh, basics. Oh, okay. I was like, there must have been something other than just Boomsday cards.
Yeah, I know, but you made these horrible decks, and it was terrible. Like, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't do any of the cool things that you had been thinking of the whole time, you know? Like, you're like, oh, I'm so excited, I'm going to try making this deck, and then you open the packs at the pre-release, and you're like, oh, no, I needed a card from any other expansion to make this deck work, and I can't do it. So I hope that's not there anymore, because that, I think, was the funnest thing that I was looking forward to, was just starting early to flesh out all my ideas, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they're like getting rid of all things, then cool. This sounds really fun. I want to make my all Gurubashi chicken deck. 30 Gurubashi chickens.
Well, you have to open 30 Gurubashi chickens first.
Or I can craft them.
Does the game let you craft more than 2 cards? I've never tried.
I think you could craft some. I can't remember. Maybe you couldn't craft. I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Well, please, random attendees of Austin, Texas Fireside Gatherings, please,
hold me to that.
If you see Dills and he starts crafting 30 Gurubashi chickens, please record this. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Sign the rest of the Angry Chicken crew.
We need before and after dust totals, please.
Well, it's a basic, right? It's not that crazy.
It's still
times 30.
It's still 30 times 40 dust. I know, it's a lot. Okay,
think of all the other cards you could make instead.
Yep,
I'm getting cold feet.
Yep. I would also like to say that I find the outrage on Twitter about us not getting to announce the Gurubashi chicken flattering. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Better you than us to be outraged about.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, a lot of cards to talk about today, so let's get into it. This week's Rastakhan card talk.
Okay, so what's the rules?
Well, there's only one rule, Ben.
Okay, so what's the...
There are no rules!
Okay.
So, there's so many cards to talk about today. We're going to do our best to talk about everything we haven't talked about already. Don't be surprised if we skip some neutrals that are boring, because there are some that are boring.
We are going to.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, be surprised if we don't.
Anyways, let's kick off. By the way, if you're trying to follow along at home, we use Hearthpone's Rastakhan guide, which just has everything that's been released so far separated into classes, which means we're starting with Druid, and we're starting with Gonk the Raptor, which is the Loa for the Druids. Gonk the Raptor is a 7-mana, 4/9 legendary Druid beast that reads, after your hero attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again.
Okay. Well, seems like I'm going to need to be Malfurion Death Knight for this to work. Even then, I don't know if I really like.
Well, I mean, Druids do end up with like 80 health, so I don't even think that that's a concern of like, oh, do I really want to be attacking and killing minions with my face? It's like, Druid, you're already going to have double the health you're supposed to have anyways, so.
Well, that's not really the concern, though. It's just there's not, when you get to that point in the game, how often are there just boards full of like, 3 health or less minions, right? That you could just start machine gunning down. It just doesn't happen that often that I think I want to put a 7-mana 4/9 into my deck, but I don't know. We'll see.
But what if for 1 more mana, Dills?
Well, what if
when you your hero attacked and killed a minion, you got to draw a card?
Yeah, see, now that the Spirit of the Raptor. So that, and then I guess Savage Striker. These are the cards that all go together, right?
Yeah, we already talked about Savage Striker, but we hadn't seen Gonk. We hadn't seen Spirit of the Raptor beforehand. So to remind our listeners at home, Savage Striker is the 2-mana 2/3 for Druids with the battle cry that deals damage to an enemy minion equal to your hero's attack. So it synergizes a bit, although would that count as your hero attacking and killing a minion?
No, because that Savage Striker is doing the damage. So Savage Striker would be the one that is getting the kill.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a semi.
But I mean, you would be synergy. Trying to have a higher attack value on your hero, right? So if you're going to be getting an attack value on your hero to make Savage Striker work, you're probably also swinging into something.
You could also use Savage Striker to do the first 3 damage to something with 6 health and then kill it with your hero power, right?
Yeah.
So then you would then get to swing again, and you would get to draw the card and blah, blah, blah. And like I get what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make you play Gnash and Bite and all this stuff, right? So that you get this amazing, ability to kind of just ping down a whole bunch of stuff. However,
I don't know.
You
I
don't
don't think
think-
that's better than anything druids are doing right now.
Druid's still just gonna togwaggle you or Malagos you or whatever, right? So maybe after some of the stuff rotates out, we might see Gonk and Spirit of the Raptor and Savage Striker come into play. But it feels to me more like they just didn't want to give Druid any crazy broken stuff, and they're like, "This is good enough."
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Totally okay with that. I want to see somebody play around with this, like with the rotation, but yeah, Druid doesn't need to be better.
It's pretty mean. It's pretty mean.
I wonder if how difficult this will be to make work after the standard rotation, because the Death Knight is going to wild.
True.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you'll have to do things like bite and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that just bites.
That card has never seen play. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'm guessing it's unlikely that these cards are like any of this little set of cards. This feels to me like we're looking at like freeze shaman type stuff here. This is not how you win Hearthstone games.
and I think that's okay because Druid's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So last week, Dills, when you and I did an early show to get out of the way for Thanksgiving, and we were doing cards on the fly, we realized that a lot of the cards that were being revealed had very obvious synergies with other cards. You know, the obvious is Loas and Spirits, but that we saw cards beyond that. And that's not really happening with Druid here. There is a card called Mark of the Loa. It's a 4-mana rare spell, but it doesn't really synergize with Gonk. The Loa, because it reads, choose one, give a minion +2/+4 and taunt, or summon 2 3/2 raptors.
This card just seems bad to me too, by the way. The taunt I don't think is worth, if you think about what Kings does,
Yeah, true.
+4/+4, it's like that's an immediate offensive threat, right? And +2/+4 with taunt. The double raptors is also weaker than, say, a Serenite Chain Gang in my mind. So unless you can use this to create raptors that then work in some sort of a token style deck, I just don't see this seeing a lot of play either.
I think there's better ways to make tokens than this.
The only place in my mind that might work is Beast Druid. We'll talk about some more Beast synergy in a bit, but even that, I'm thinking probably not.
There is a potential for Big Beast Druid to be a thing, because they do have the card that summons a druid or summons a beast out of your deck?
Yeah. Predatory Instincts?
No, Stampeding Roar. Summon a random beast from your hand and give it rush. So if you play like nothing but giant beasts, and then, you summon, like on turn 6, you summon out 12/12 that can't be targeted by hero powers or spells. That's pretty strong, right? So that kind of thing, I think there might be something for. But yeah, and then Predatory Instincts to double their health and all that kind of stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll go back into that in a second. But first, I want to talk about the champion for Druid, which is War Druid Lodi. Not sure how to pronounce this.
Lodi.
Lodi.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Lodi is a 3-mana 1/2 legendary minion for Druids with a choose one, which reads, transform into one of Lodi's 4 dinosaur forms. One is a 1/2 with poisonous and stealth. One is a 1/6 with taunt. Another is a 4/2 with rush. And the final form is a 1/4 with spell damage +1.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what deck this goes into. I guess if you were to play like a Spiteful Druid, you might want to just play this just because it gives you flexibility, right? You can use the 1/2 with stealth to potentially kill something big like a giant from an even lock. You could use the 4/2 to just kill off something that's just in the normal game, like a zoo style game or something like that. But I don't know. It's just weird. I'm like, I don't see where this really goes outside of that kind of deck. Although it is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys saw. Do you have the form that it takes when you use Fandral in Wild?
Yeah, it is up. I just opened to the page.
It just gets all of it.
Yes. Yeah, it becomes a 4/6 with all of the affixes.
Yeah.
Now that seems good.
That's pretty cool. A 3-mana 4/6 with rush, taunt,
with
spell
everything.
damage, stealth, poisonous. Yeah, that seems all right. You have to play a 4-mana 3/5 first and then do this. So, but I don't know. This card just to me is a very wait and see card because I can't imagine the deck that really wants this right now. But again, I could just be missing some amazing synergy.
I mean, it's not a bad card. It's good. There's always value in flexibility. It's just that it's pretty tame for a legendary. You know,
way too fair.
It's only
constructed.
It's a one of. I have to get very lucky to find it. And while we have spent years complaining about things like Keleseth being too much of a high roll if you do happen to find it, it's still that's kind of why I'm pretty lukewarm on War Druid Lodi.
So, if this works like other transform minions too, Keleseth will not work on this card.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. Her stats are just going to be her stats.
Yeah. And that's like, but okay. So this is why I think if the problem for me right now is Spiteful Druid is just not a good enough deck. It's what I played to get out of rank 50 to 25 because it is good enough. Like it's like a tier 3-ish type of deck. But if you play this in that deck, it is nice to just have a 3-drop card. Doesn't mess with your Keleseth. That can kind of do a bunch of different things depending on what the situation is. That to me is like the one spot I could see it landing. That's not the best Druid deck.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be after the expansion comes out either.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, but we have so many good Druid decks right now. You've got Token, you've got Togwaggle, and you've got Malagos. That it's like you have to be better than any of those 3 already pretty powerful decks in order to get a good card review out of this, right? And there's nothing in what we've seen from Druid that I think is going to be better than any of those 3 options. Or even
Hadronox too
would feed in. Oh yeah, Taunt Druid. I even totally Taunt Druid. Yeah, like Druid has so many things they can play right now that are powerful and that are winning tournaments and doing well on ladder. That they would have to print something super duper broken in order for anything from this set to change what Druid is currently doing. And I'm really glad that they didn't do that so far. Knock on wood.
There's no UI out there at the moment.
And these conversations are very common to have with the last set of the standard year because we have so many archetypes that are tried and true and so many cards now in the format.
Pretty solidified at this point. So.
Right.
Now there is still a Druid Epic out there, and one more Druid common. I don't know what those could be. Could be the next UI, but I don't think so because it looks these are in mana cost order too, right? So I'm pretty sure that's going to cost less than 6. That whatever that Epic is. So.
Oh, I don't think there's any guarantee that that's the case.
I guess that's not.
They don't know what the cards are, right? So.
Well, they don't know what they are, so they can't put them in order. The blanks are just.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. This is just Hearthstone's thing.
Yeah, this is
a Blizzard's thing.
There's only two epics. So
conspiracy theory, though.
I know. I just don't want to see a giant crazy spell thing.
I'm looking for one more your hero attack kill a minion piece of synergy.
Something to give your hero attack. I think that also then does something.
Yes. Yeah, and there's 2 more cards. Which means they're epic or common, which means you could put 2 of them in a deck. That would go a long way to, I think, making what Gonk and the Spirit of the Raptor cards are trying to do happen. So that's what I'm on. I'm on Gonk Watch. Gonk Synergy Watch. That's what I'm on right now for Drew.
Gonk Watch.
Gonk Watch 2018. Real quick, let's just touch on the Beast Synergy again. We kind of power through Stampeding Roar and Predatory Instincts. Stampeding Roar is a 6-mana epic druid spell that summons a random beast from your hand and gives it rush. And Predatory Instincts is a 4-mana rare druid spell that draws a beast from your deck and doubles its health.
Yeah, so you Predatory Instinct a big beast into your hand, then you Stampeding Roar it onto the board, and it's extra big. You know, I could definitely see
Tyrantus.
Yeah, Tyrantus, obviously. Then there's also like the Grizzlies. There's also the Devil Sores. There's
the Ironhide Direhorn, which was added in the set.
Direhorn, which I think sucks to pay 7 mana for. But if you can pay 6 mana for it and give it rush,
guess what?
Instantly get that overkill.
Yep.
Yeah, because then exactly, you're probably on turn 6 going to kill something with a 7/7. So. Yeah. You'll have a 7-something alongside a 5/5.
Yeah, like a 7/4 and a 5/5 or something like that. And that'll be sweet. So
God, if you Predatory Instinct the Direhorn, it'd be a 7/14.
There you go.
And then I think this deck also probably runs like cubes and stuff. So then you like cube some of these beasts, and then you just get more and more of these beasts. So They don't have death rattle activators, but you can find those. You can make that work. You know?
Yeah.
I just think, make giant beasts, cube them up, put all the pressure on your opponent.
It's a shame none of these new beast spells affect War Druid Lodi.
Yeah.
Make it.
I mean, because he's not a beast until he transforms. So
Right, exactly.
She, excuse me.
All right, let's move on to Hunter then.
Let's do it.
So we're still waiting on the Loa and the Spirit for Hunters, but Hunters kind of blew the roof off the joint this morning when Zul'jin, their champion, was revealed, because Zul'jin is a hero card. Zul'jin's going to cost you 10 mana. It's going to give you the 5 armor, and the battle cry on Zul'jin is cast all spells you've played this game, targets chosen randomly. And Zul-Yog! Yeah, actually just a better Yogg in my opinion.
Yeah.
Way better than Yogg, because it's never going to turn
himself, right?
Yeah, it's never going to turn off,
well,
so you'll always get all the spells. Well, I mean, you also will only get spells you actually cast and put in played. Yeah.
He could definitely kill himself with kill commands, but you would just die.
Well, yeah. And that would turn him off because you'd then be dead.
Yeah. Also, we should probably talk about the hero power. It turns your hero power into Berserker Throw, which for 2 mana deals 2 damage.
So 2 damage that can go anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Targetable 2 damage.
So the thing that I look at when I see this card, though, is I think Hunter spells aren't that good. And Rexxar hero power is super good. So until Rexxar rotates out, I'm probably not playing a Zul'jin Hunter competitively. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not playing it just for the fun. And I guess you could play both of them in a deck, but I just feel like most Rexxar decks, Rexxar is like the backup game plan. The decks themselves are not full of like spells you'd want to recast at any point. So,
well, yeah, but you could potentially just have a spell hunter build, which has kind of been a second-ish tier hunter deck. It's kind of fallen out of favor behind the Death Rattle Egg Hunter and the Secret Hunter, but it's not necessarily bad. It's just that some of the other ones are better. But I think that there could be a cool spell hunter build around Zul'jin, and maybe you have both. Maybe you have Zul'jin and Rexxar, but maybe you're playing Zul'jin first and then you're playing Rexxar and you're going like super, super, super late long game. I don't know.
Maybe. I think right now,
so cool.
While Rexxar is here, it's super cool. I just don't think it actually is going to see. I don't think it's going to make a top tier deck. Because right now, Death Rattle Hunter is like the best friggin' deck in the game, I think. It just is. Like, it's so good. And you wouldn't want to play Rexxar before this because you're not going to want to turn off Rexxar. So it could make Rexxar like a dead card in your hand until you get to turn 10 and play the Zul'jin. Yeah. But also the spells you play in Death Rattle Hunter, you wouldn't want to replay those. So Secret Hunter, though, if you like replayed a whole bunch of secrets, put Spirit Wolves onto the board, 2 Animal Companions, it is just like instant refill, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have, it's like a weaker Gul'dan in that scenario, right? And that's to me like the thing that kind of makes me go, maybe, because Gul'dan is not even right now seeing much play. Weirdly, I mean, it's an even lock, but it's not like the key to the even lock strategy anymore, you know? Like there was a time when Q block was a thing, and it was like, bring back all the demons, and that's how I kill you. Now it's just like, no, I just make 8/8 on turn 3. Yeah. Like, I don't even get to Gul'dan because I smash your face in with giants.
Giants?
Giant giants.
Yeah, I like this for Spell Hunter a lot. I think
obviously just throw it in.
I think Zul'jin's incredible overall. And like I said, I think it's just a better Yogg because I just very quickly went through standard Hunter spells today to just figure out what can backfire, what can't backfire. There's a lot more Hunter spells that will not backfire versus will. And there's a lot of good ones that won't backfire. You've already mentioned a lot of them. The secrets, your Spellstone, Animal Companion.
Yeah, Animal Companion will just be something. Deadly Shot will always hit something on the opponent's side. So you might even play like Crushing Walls, because if you get Crushing Walls for free later on, then Like you can think of all your spells as being like, yeah, I pay for them now, and then later I don't.
Yeah,
You get them again free. Yeah.
You need the spells without a target or that specifies your target. So spells don't. It's always going to be on your side of the board. Crushing Wall specifies opponent. That's the kind of stuff that's good. Kill command, you might just ding yourself in the face for 10 if you cast the 2 of them. There's a chance of that happening.
But you might not.
Yeah.
You might not. You're right. So that's the is it worth it?
Hunter's Mark might hit your own minions too, but they won't be that big. They're going to be 3/3s and 4/4s and 4/2s with charge and stuff. So.
I'm cautiously optimistic about Zul'jin at release. I am ecstatic to see what the hell Hunter looks like after Rexxar hits Wild come standard year 2019.
It's going to be way different. By the way, all of these Hunter cards are super interesting. There's like a lot going on here.
Yeah, we've got some more beast synergy coming in. Let's move on and talk about Master's Call. This is a new epic hunter spell that's going to cost you 3 mana, and it reads discover a minion in your deck. If all 3 are beasts, draw them all.
I love this card.
Super cool.
I really, really do.
So it says discover. So if you just discover one, do you just get a copy? But if they're all beasts, does it actually remove them from your deck?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe it's always copies. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Because it's a discover.
It is.
Like
But
the way. Okay, so
Tracking is
tracking
kind of a discover, right?
Yeah, but tracking is worded differently. It literally says discard the other 2. Right?
Part of that also, I feel like, is an artifact of it being around before Discover was coined.
Before Discover, yeah.
But yeah, if all 3 are beasts, draw them all because draw is there instead of add them to your hand.
That's true. Yeah, it doesn't say add copies. So I don't know. It's weird. Maybe when you discover, you still actually just draw that one too. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't able to track down a
See this
written in stone clarification of that.
Either way it works, though, it's totally fine, because if I just have a deck that only has solid beasts, then I basically have a card that says fill my hand up with beasts, and now I'm a beast hunter, right? So the thing is like
so Katharina, you wouldn't be able to play because she's not a beast, right? Like,
yeah,
if
you wouldn't. Well, you wouldn't be playing
redraw, right?
You wouldn't be playing like the current version of Death Rattle Hunter. Like you might be playing.
Well, yeah, because you couldn't have eggs, you couldn't have the stalkers, like none of the like. This doesn't. This is Beast Hunter. This isn't Death Rattle Hunter.
This is a different deck, exactly.
But because Katharina is recruiting beasts, like you would think that she would naturally fit in a beast deck, but she could totally mess up your Master's Call.
Well, you just don't even want this card in a deck that runs recruit and stuff mechanics, because you don't even want to draw those beasts. You want to pull them out of your deck for free. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean? So I just think these are 2 different decks.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think there's like a couple of other cards that we have along with this that give this more of a chance to be a legitimate strategy of just I play a bunch of really good beasts, I draw them all. I've got things like scavenging hyenas and kill commands and unleash the hounds and all this other stuff that goes along with just having beasts. And then I also know that I'm going to pull giant beasts out of my deck whenever I need more of them. So seems solid.
Yeah. And continuing with the beast synergy, Revenge of the Wild is another new hunter spell. It's going to cost you 2 mana. It's rare, by the way. And it reads, summon your beasts that died this turn.
Yeah.
Does this work with zombies? So if I build a beast with Rexxar, it'll then bring those back too?
If they died this turn.
That seems really strong.
Yeah. I mean, you can unleash and then unleash again, with this card.
Yeah.
But, there's lots and lots of applications for this. So, yeah, this seems like you definitely want to play this card too in that scenario where you're playing the Master's Call and some impactful beasts. If you make any kind of trades, it's just like I can just make some trades and then boom, I got I got all those beasts back that I just made all those trades with. So it's like, and for 2 mana, if you're getting back even one decent beast, that's really good.
Yeah, like 2 mana Savannah Highmane.
Get a Highmane back.
Yeah,
like you just made a trade with. Okay. Or I could play the Charged Devilsaur for 8 mana and then trade into something, and then for 2 mana get another one. This one, by the way,
and it can go face.
Doesn't have the can't hit face thing. So the second one, I can trade with something with the first one. The second one, I hit your face.
This is a rad card.
It's cool. Yeah.
And we're getting new beasts. We've already talked about Spring Paw, but we're getting Spring Paw, the 1-mana 1/1 beast rusher. It adds another 1/1 links with rush to your hand. You've also got Baited Arrow, which summons a 5/5 Devil Soar if you overkill your target. A lot of beast stuff going on in Hunter, as it should be, in my opinion.
Do we talk about Beast Within? Because I think that was the other new card, but it's not important, I don't think.
Actually, yeah, I don't think we did talk about Beast Within. It's a 1-mana epic hunter spell that reads: give a friendly beast +1/+1, then it attacks a random enemy minion.
Yeah. The whole random part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still controllable. If there's only one thing on the board, you know what it's attacking. There'll be, possibly scenarios where it's good no matter what it hits, but it's not.
Seems kind of bad to me, but
I'm way more excited about Master's Call and Revenge of the Wild.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So much so that I subliminally forgot about the Beast Within.
Somebody in chat is asking if this means the beast will attack twice. I don't believe so, because we have there's that warrior guy that randomly just attacks something at the beginning of your turn, and that's its attack.
That's its attack.
Doesn't get another attack. Yeah.
There's one more hunter card I wanted to bring up, which is Blood Scalp Strategist. This is a 3-mana 2/4 rare hunter minion with a battle cry that reads: if you have a weapon equipped, discover a spell.
So you can't play it in your Zul'jin Spell Hunter deck, but this to me feels like I just don't think that what it's doing is strong enough for a constructed deck. But it does feel like if you have a draft in Arena with several weapons in it, that you might just pick this up and just be like, value. But
I think this is going to be potentially like take a spot in a cheaper hunter deck while Candle Shot is still a thing. And then in Wild, obviously, once rotations happen and stuff. But like, because I mean, Candle Shot, you do usually have for on turn 1, you're just playing it out just to have it. It's got 3 charges. So chances are you'll still have your Candle Shot equipped when turn 3 rolls around. So there might be a deck that could make some use of this.
Maybe. I just think on turn 3, there's more powerful things than I can do than play a 2/4 and discover a spell.
Especially in Hunter, I'm with you. This is the type of card that I look at and I'm like, well, this is a valuable card. In a vacuum, this is a good card. But where Hunter
it's good
is
enough to consider. It's just is it better than what else I can do?
Exactly. And at this point in the game, what Hunter is doing right now, I don't think so. But again, I think this is another 2019 card.
Well, it's also these are the types of cards I look at and I go, when you're like a newer player and you get a Blood Scalp Strategist and you have Candle Shot and you can't make tier 1 meta decks and you're in the rank 50.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and you look at this and you go,
a cheap hunter deck might make use of this.
Synergy. And then you put it in your deck and it makes your deck better than what it was before.
Yeah.
So like, there will definitely be people who are going to find use for this card. Just at top tier levels of competition, probably not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you find weapons in Arena, you might pick this up.
Sure. Hunter doesn't have enough weapons, I don't think, though, man. Like, I feel like Hunter needs to have tons of bows and things, and they only have a few, really. So.
Yeah, and the Eaglehorn bow is the same mana cost, right? So you can't even play that on 2 and play this on 3 or something.
Yeah, unless you coin it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe we get a 2-mana legendary weapon. We're still, and it's somehow a Loa.
That's true.
Loa is a weapon.
We already know it's going to be a Loa, but somehow it's a Loa.
There's still a rare and a common out there, so we'll see.
I don't know of Loas that are small enough to represent a weapon somehow, but sure. There's still 2 more cards that are not going to be Loas, so we could be getting.
We know that one of them is the Loa and one of them is the Spirit, right? So there's only one slot.
Oh, that's right, the Spirit. I forgot about the Spirit. Damn it. All right, yep. One more chance for a curve weapon for Blood Scalp Strategist besides Candle Shot.
Good luck.
Could happen.
Godspeed.
I do think, though, Hunter's got enough cool stuff here that I'm not so worried about them having another new stuff to play, know?
Well, Candle Shot's fine for now.
They're doing fine.
Let's roll on and talk about Mage. We've already talked about all of their legendaries and the Spirit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about all the hero power-y stuff.
Yeah, that was all last week. That has me so excited, by the way, still. But there are still some new Mage cards. Blast Wave is a 5-mana epic Mage spell. It reads: deal 2 damage to all minions, overkill, add a random Mage spell to your hand.
So is that overkill, so add a random Mage spell for each thing you overkill? Or if you overkill anything, you get 1.
I hope that it's for each thing.
Because I feel like that makes a real big difference, right? Because I would
Certainly
think
does.
that it would be like, I would think that it would be 1 random spell for each thing you overkill, but I've been wrong about overkill in the past.
Sure. I mean, right now, overkill is still kind of, it's the Wild West for overkill information, as far as I'm concerned. I still don't know all the ins and outs, but there's no reason to read this card and think that it's not for everything you overkill. Because, if I overkill two 1/1s, then I actually, my overkill should trigger twice. It happened twice.
I would think so, but I don't know if it's, I just don't know.
Now, you could also say, though, that the spell, all of them died at the same time. There was overkill. So
there was 1 overkill. There was one spell and 1 overkill. Yeah.
Sure. I could see that working that way too. But
I just think there's 2 ways to read the card, and one makes it really good and one makes it really bad. So
someone in chat is saying confirmed 1 spell for each overkill, which makes this really interesting, because if this card does end up seeing a lot of like this, actually in Arena, scares the crap out of me. You can never, against a mage, play multiple 1 health minions like ever again. If this becomes a thing in Constructed, you're going to feel the same way. You're just going to be like, I can't load the board up with tokens against mage. Once they blast wave you, the game is over because they have too much value.
We did see a bunch of spell damage stuff in the previous expansions this year, so I wonder if there is some sort of cool control-y spell damagey mage that could make use of something like this.
Yeah, you know what though, it's possibly a very healthy card. A lot of these cards are taking mage in a super different direction than they have been for a while now, right? Like, there is big spell mage out there, but it hasn't seen that much popularity. It's mostly just been this tempo mage until we got the mana worm nerf. Now we're playing Murlocs. We're just trying to force the burn option to still be the thing. But these cards that we're getting in this set kind of lead me to believe that that's kind of not the push anymore. The push is now definitely towards a more controlling style.
Which I love Big Spell Mage. Big Spell Mage has been one of my favorite decks to play ever since back in January, February of this year. I love the play style of that deck. And I really slowly
choke people out.
Exactly. Yeah. And just kind of be like, okay, now I'm Jaina and you can never kill me. So haha. Just makes me feel real good. And then all of a sudden I have a board full of dragons and just life is fun. So I like that it's getting I like that it's getting a little bit more support, and that's the direction they're taking Mage, because Mage has been, faces the place for, I feel like, a long time now, and I'm ready for more controlling mages to come back.
Sure.
I like having both. You've got this, because of the nature of so many of their spells being able to go wherever you want them to, it's easy to flip the switch to control. I've always enjoyed that about Mage, so I would like them to take it whatever direction they want. But it certainly doesn't look like they're pushing for more aggression. Although we're getting a Murloc that draws Murloc, so hey, Murloc Mage got something.
Yeah, with a 4-mana 3/2.
It's not the most exciting thing in the world.
No.
But Blast Wave is great. Also, I haven't mentioned art. Blast Wave's art is incredible. Especially
art on this entire set is freaking incredible. I feel like they've stepped their art game up considerably.
Yeah, except I do agree with Reddit. There's a 5,000 upvote thing at the top of the Reddit right now that's, hey, Zul'jin's art is kind of boring.
Well, he's got less space to work with because of that hero portrait thing, but it
even just has a flat blue background.
I know, there's nothing even behind him.
Yeah.
It looks like awkward family photos Zul'jin.
Yeah.
It's like smile Zul'jin, he's just like, I've got stuff over my face, you can't see it anyway.
Yeah. Zul'jin's high school yearbook picture is what they use.
Compare that to the troll on Blast Wave, and it's like a night and day difference. Anyway, Arcanosaur. We haven't talked about Arcanosaur for mages yet. It's a 6-mana 3/3 common mage elemental minion with a battle cry that reads, if you played an elemental last turn, not this turn, last turn, deal 3 damage to all other minions.
So this is the thing that, so everybody looked at it and said, that's a worse Dustbreaker. And to that I say, no, because it's in a different class. And this is the one thing that Elemental Mage was missing, was an AoE, like the no spell Elemental Mage that like Kibler plays a lot and stuff. Was the one thing that it was missing was just a straight up AoE. And here you go. And it's really, really common that you will have played an Elemental on turn 5 because you have that 5-mana 5/5 that draws a card. You have, I mean, there's just so many Elementals that you will just be dropping on turn 5. Now on turn 6, you're like, boom, kill all your stuff. This just seems like what they needed. So even though it is technically worse than a Duskbreaker because it costs 2 more mana, it's just it's what that deck was missing. So
it kind of had to, though, because they printed Elemental Evocation. I guess that's how you say that.
Yeah.
So I mean, they couldn't really make it too cheap, because if they made it 4 mana like a Duskbreaker, then you get it for 2 mana, and then it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
but
it's like
2 mana, 2 cards. Like, I'm still okay with, like, I don't know. I do think though at 6 mana, it's probably just right. It's just right. It's the right spot for it.
And it clearly is the Joce art of this expansion, because look at all that purple, pink, and blue.
So if something looks like cotton candy, it passes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. I will be making golds of these. That'll be my golden craft day 1.
Well, lucky for you, it's a common.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a super strong card, and also it's gonna be pickable in Arena if you just already kind of have elementals, and that's gonna happen too fairly often. So yeah, I think this card's gonna see a lot of play. That deck I think is gonna be out there.
I'm just excited for more elemental tools. I mean, there's only one mage card we haven't seen yet. You know, hell knows if it's a elemental card or not. But between Arcanosaur and between Elemental Evocation,
Elemental Evocation is interesting because I think this is a better way to print Innervate, right? Make it a specific Innervate.
Yeah.
You know, like we still have prep in Rogue forever, and you know, you think about like the card like that in Magic that has been banned for years and years and years, but it's okay in Rogue because it only works on spells. So there's a lot of situations where it's like a bad card in your hand because you don't have any spells to use it on. If you want to print a card like Innervate, make it specific. Only elementals get cheaper. That's the way to do that, right? When you just get 2 mana for whatever you want, that's when things get a little out of hand.
Or just nerf Innovate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean the Innervate's in a fine spot now because it's literally just a coin. But if you want to give it 2, then I think this is the way to do it.
Yep. Well, let's take a break.
Wait. There's another card we haven't talked about in Mage.
Which one?
I just looked at the notes. Splitting Image.
Oh, for crying out loud. Things have come out since I did notes. Splitting Image. Okay, yeah, my bad. 3 mana. Epic. Mage secret that reads when one of your minions is attacked, summon a copy of it.
That seems like that could be real friggin' good.
Yeah.
Really annoying. Like when you're playing against it. They play a secret. They've got 1 big minion on board. You can only kill it with a spell. You can't run minions into it.
It's a pun, and the art is amazing.
Like, if it could potentially be counterspell then too, right? So then you risk using your big targeted removal, and it could potentially be counterspell. So it's like just trying to play around Mage secrets is about to be a gigantic pain in the ass.
Okay, but let's say you Jan'alai the Dragonhawk, get your Ragnaros in there, and Splitting Image, and then they can't kill the Ragnaros. You got 2 Ragnarai. You're like, this is standard?
Ragnarai. Yeah. Why is this a term that we need to think about?
Because it's amazing?
Yeah.
Or double
lots and lots of annoying things that happen.
Yeah.
Now, attack is specific, so there's a million and one other ways to deal with either Ragnarai in that situation. Well, there would only be a Ragnaros unless you proc a Splitting Image, but
well, if you attack into the first one and it's an attack that would kill it, you'd still kill the first one. They just get another one too. So the attack still happens.
It's but I'm thinking, using a spell instead of running a minion into it or using a weapon.
But remember, like Duplicate, we thought, that's not that good, and it turned out to actually be kind of okay. This is like better than that because you don't just get another one in your hand. You don't get 2 more in your hand. You just get 1 more on the board.
I remember Ben Brode coming on the show specifically to defend Duplicate.
Yeah. Like, hey, you guys are wrong. Duplicate. Awesome. But this just seems like this is going to be good. It's going to be a good card.
Yeah. Plus, great art, and it's a pun. So this is a slam dunk. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
What's the pun?
It's usually a spitting image is the
Spitting
saying.
image.
Oh.
But this is splitting image.
But
Got it.
ching.
Because it's splitting into a copy. I love it. It's great. It's great. Can we go into Wild and make just a mage that makes a bunch of copies and call it like Kinko's Mage?
Sure.
Is that a thing we can do? Where it's just making copies?
There's Wild. So I saw a thread on Wild's subreddit that people were not excited about these cards, and I was just like, you are crazy. I'm seeing so many cards in here that I'm like, yes. Not only does this help me counter things that are currently in Wild, there's so many things I'm like, yeah, I want to see how this works with this, and I'm incredibly excited. So I don't know what that guy's talking about. He's clearly on drugs.
That is a strong reaction.
It's called like I see it.
The views of Illegals Gregory do not necessarily represent that of the Angry Chicken. Since we're more or less in the middle of classes at the moment, let's take a break and thank our sponsor for today, HelloFresh. They're back. You should go check them out over at hellofresh.com/tech60. If you're not aware of this is the meal kit delivery service. Wonderful food, ready to cook, shows up at your doorstep in insulated packaging. It's cold. It's all recyclable. It keeps me not eating like total crap, which is how I did eat before HelloFresh was like, hey, you want to try us? And maybe we'll, you can do the sponsor thing. I'm like, okay, sure. And now I live by it. So if you've never checked out HelloFresh, you've somehow never heard us talk about it on the Angry Chicken before, there's different plans to choose from. There's something for everyone. So that you've got the classic plan for those of you who like your meat, potatoes, and vegetables. That's what I do. You've got the veggie plan for you vegetarians, and there's also a family plan if you have a larger family that you're cooking for. It's good. It's good. And then there's step-by-step instructions with pictures, so I can be like, am I cutting the potato right? I didn't know there were so many options about ways to cut potatoes, but there are, and you don't need to question it because HelloFresh answers that for you.
You're like, oh, that's how you cut potatoes. Oh.
Yeah, I was always doing like star designs and happy faces. Turns out that's not how you're supposed to cut your potatoes.
You're using cookie cutters and stuff and make.
Oh my god, I want to do that now just to screw with family members that come over for Christmas.
I like the pictures because then I can just notice like how different mine looks than what they told me to.
That's what
all that matters is that it tastes the same.
When I first started doing it, that was like what kind of endeared me to it. I was like, oh my god, it actually looks like the picture. Like,
sure.
Usually that doesn't.
Oh yeah, when I made that big ZD thing, I was just like, at the end, I was like, holy crap, I did it!
Look at this! I need to invite people over so they can behold.
I gotta put this. This is going on Twitter. That was my initial thought.
Yeah. And if you're in a hurry, they have a lot of one-pot recipes, so you can get like really speedy cooking, minimal cleanup. It's great. And you can subscribe. There's a subscription service. If you play video games, you're probably familiar with how subscription services work by now. But I really like it because it saves a lot of grocery trips for me. I basically stop by every once in a while for a beer I like instead of having to like bring all of my sacks to load up so I'm not adding more plastic to the world.
Garrett and all his sacks.
All my sacks, man. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Everyone's using the word sack right now, okay?
Sure.
That's why it's the most wonderful time of the year.
All the sacks full of goodies.
Well, it is. I mean, look, there's a fair point there because every time I want to make a really fancy meal and I go out to the store, I have to get like way more of a thing than I need for that meal, right? I get like a giant bag of whatever spice, and then I get home, I'm like, yeah, and I use like a tiny bit of that.
I love that you're
it's annoying. I got sacks and sacks of ingredients I don't even use.
I love the idea of buying spice in bulk, but potatoes. Potatoes are
you don't get your spice in bulk.
The thing you would buy in a sack. Anyways, we very much enjoy our HelloFresh. Got another box coming next week. But check them out for a total of $60 off. That's $20 off of your first 3 boxes. You can go to HelloFresh.com/TAC60 right now and enter the code TAC60 when you check out. Again, that's $60 off total, $20 off your first 3 boxes over at HelloFresh.com/TAC60 by entering the code TAC60. So go check it out. We thank them for their support. We thank you for you going to that URL and using that code. Now, let's talk about what's going on with Paladin. Again, we've seen the Loa, but up until now we haven't seen the champion. The champion is High Priest Thekal.
The call, sure.
That sounds fantasy-like. If he's in World of Warcraft, I don't remember him. But Thekal is a 3-mana, 3/4 legendary paladin minion with a battle cry that reads, convert all but one of your hero's health into armor.
Holy crap.
This seems like super cool and super scary all at the same time.
Very scary. So in Wild, I can play this, and then I can instantly play 2 Molten Giants. That's pretty gross.
But nothing exciting for Wild.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, guy on drugs. But also, this does... So one of the worries about the Paladin deck that was going to be doing some of the healing stuff and then getting some of the healing payoff, one of the problems that a lot of people were pointing out was, well, how do I make sure that my hero is taking damage that I can then heal? Well, here you go. Immediately go to 1 health and 29 armor and then heal all that health back, and then you're at 59 health, so yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's why I want to talk about Zandalari Templar right in there with High Priest Thekal. That's what I'm going to call him. Zandalari Templar is a 4-mana, 4/4 rare paladin minion with a battle cry that reads, if you restore 10 health this game, gain +4/+4 and taunt. So, and
by the way, that's not restored 10 health to your hero. That's just restored 10 health. So you can play the fungal guy, the fungal
enchanter.
Yeah, and heal some of your minions up, and boom, you got a 4-mana 8/8 with taunt. Pretty easily. So that's crazy. This card, I mean, and even if you can't get this to go off, a 4-mana 4/4 isn't the biggest penalty in the world if you just need to put something on the board. So it's like. This card just seems like it's going to be good. I think we're going to see heal Paladin. And it's not necessarily going to have to be heal control. It can kind of be heal tempo, right? Like you can play kind of like a zoo style where you heal some of your minions up, get free Happy Ghouls and stuff, and then also play Zandalari Templars. Seems strong.
Looks like High Priest Thekal was in vanilla, but is no longer in the game.
There you go. Excuse me for not remembering. Every NPC
run across
in vanilla World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, it feels to me like Paladin has a lot of cards that work really well together, and it's kind of cool because I'm a little bit sick of Odd Paladin, and I'd like to see them have other ways to play.
Yep.
And if the Mage cards become real, Odd Paladin might just be a liability anyway because you just get AoE'd and give the Mage a whole bunch of cards, so maybe this is just a better way to play Paladin now.
Paladin is my most played class, historically my favorite class. This excites the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Even Paladin got here just in time for me to be like, I never want to play another Odd Paladin game for the rest of my life. But already I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for something new. Let's do something different. So bring on the call.
Yeah. All these cards, like, they seem strong enough to see play to me too, which is, so yeah, this definitely, I think we're creating potentially 2 new Paladin archetypes. One being, spell Paladin, spell buff Paladin, and the other being like heal zoo Paladin kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I like it.
We saw Shirvala, the Paladin Loa, at BlizzCon, but we didn't see the spirit, which boggles my mind why they would have even decided to hold it. But we now know what the spirit is. It's Spirit of the Tiger. It's a 4-mana 0/3 rare Paladin minion with stealth for 1 turn. But what is special about it is that after you cast a spell, you summon a tiger with stats equal to its cost.
So what that means is if you cast a 6-mana spell, you get a 6/6 tiger.
Right.
Correct.
Which I think, like, I would even hold this for a turn, play it on 5, and then, like, Spike Ridge Steed it on 6, and then have a Spike Ridge Steeded Spirit of the Tiger and a 6/6 tiger beside it, and that makes me happy.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you can just kind of, to be honest, like, if you're playing this kind of deck, just throw this down at any point and be like, answer it, dude. Because if you don't, I'm about to start just making all sorts of tigers.
Yeah.
It just seems like, there's a lot of potential here. This, it doesn't really make me nervous because, like, we've already seen, like, Jade in the past, and Jade was never just, like, so disgusting. I mean, it was really good, but this is harder to work for to get a bunch of these, like, kind of vanilla minions. So I really like this card. I think it's going to be very cool. It's, again, going to make Like the Shirvala deck doesn't. Shirvala is not like the payoff. It's just another piece in the puzzle, right? And this is one of the like. I think this is like a bigger payoff than Shirvala, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just free tigers.
Did you guys talk about a new challenger? Did you guys talk about that last week? What did you think about it?
It seems like it's got potential to be very strong, but this pool of 6 drops is definitely not as strong as we would hope, I guess. But it's still.
But like if you now adding it into the spell deck with the tiger, then do you think that that's something that could see play?
It goes into that deck for sure.
Because then you're getting a 6-cost minion with Taunt and Divine Shield and a 7/7 tiger.
For 7 mana.
Yeah.
And you're probably running Shirvala, which means you're getting a 7 mana discount on your 7/5 Divine Shield, Rush Lifestealer, so on and so forth. And there's a good chance for running Immortal Prelate and a bunch of buffs.
Right.
Sure. And Linessa will still be there. So get her back. You could play Galvadon if you want.
Let's not forget Uther. I want me some Death Knight action just because I can.
Sure. I mean, the Uther is definitely going to be in that heal deck, right? Because you get the lifesteal weapon.
Yep.
So
yep.
There's a lot of cards that it's going to be interesting to see how people build these decks because there's going to be options and choices in there.
Yep. And then we've also got the Firaki. I'm going to go with Firaki Battle Axe. It's a 5 mana, 3 attack, 3 durability, rare paladin weapon with overkill that reads give a minion in your hand +2/+2. So this isn't a direct synergy with what's happening with Shirvala and Spirit of the Tiger, but if you're considering putting in your Immortal Prelate and you're also talking about buffing minions, this is worth at least a glance.
I mean, a 5 mana 3/3 weapon is not a horrible amount to pay for 9 damage, right?
The problem is overkilling past turn 5 with only 3 attack.
That I have is how often are you going to be overkilling with this weapon? Like, how viable is that going to be? I will say though, it's kind of interesting because if you play this, and then your opponent now either has to remove it or can't play minions with 2 or less health, right? Like it suddenly changes the way that they have to play their turns out. So that to me is interesting. Also, you can of course equality and force overkills. There's things that can be done. There's the Shrink Raid card now that turns everything into 1/1s. So like there's just ways to make sure that you overkill. And
and if you're going to be dealing 9 damage and also potentially buffing what?
6/6 worth of stats.
6/6
overall. Yeah.
That seems really good.
For 5 mana, that seems solid. It's just again, my question is this going to be good enough to get a slot in whatever that deck is? Is that deck going to care about buffing things in their hand? I don't know the answer to that yet, so we'll see.
And did we need another thing to combo with equality? There's already so many ways
Sure.
to murder things that have 1 health as a paladin.
Yep, but it's definitely a question mark card for me. This is a wait and see card.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
I think it is supremely cool. I don't know if it's going to come out swinging into a deck slot.
Yeah, we shall see.
Let's move on to Priest. We got some cool Priest stuff to talk about, and first is Princess Talanji. So Priest got my 2 favorite characters from the most recent World of Warcraft expansion.
Right?
There's some Priest bias happening over here. Anyway, Princess Talanji is an 8 mana 7/5 legendary Priest minion with a battle cry that reads summon all minions from your hand that didn't start in your deck.
Milkshake!
Yeah, that's true. Then we're gonna try it there, but there's a lot of uses in just the standard stuff now. Because if you're using the spirit to create like shuffle 1-cost copies of things into your deck, those didn't start in your deck. So then once they're back in your hand, then you can just play this guy, and then they all come out, right? So that's pretty nuts. There's also the Seance card, which is like a legit. Seance is actually just straight up power creep over convert, right? Because convert said an enemy minion. This is just a minion, and that was always the problem with convert. Is that kind of card you always wanted to like put into a deck where you had minions you yourself wanted to copy, because then you didn't have to rely on your opponent having one. So possibly now you could like Seance something really freaking good and then Princess Talanji it out. getting
And
5 plus.
You can actually do that all in one turn too.
Yeah.
Because she's 8 and Seance is 2, so you
if something's on the board.
Turn 10, yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yep.
I think there's definitely stuff here. Priest is gonna be fun, man.
Yeah.
There's gonna be lots and lots of interesting potential OTK style combos or just gigantic tempo swings.
I'm still stoked as could be about Bwanzamdi and Spirit of the Dead plus Surrender to Madness.
I love Surrender to Madness. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and now Princess Talanji and this, summoning from your hand effect combined with Seance is really cool. There's not a lot of other obvious synergy with Talanji and Seance that has been revealed, and there's only one more priest card that we haven't seen.
Yeah, like there's not there's not like a bunch of generate a bunch of random minion type things, but you can play things like to me, I look at it and if I'm thinking I just want to meme this out, I'm playing like Thought Steal and stuff like that, and I'm just gathering mind vision. I'm just gathering minions from your deck, putting them into my hand, and then at some point I'm just like wah, Talanji, and it's just awesome.
I think we need to start doing like the milkshake update for our patrons, like every time a new expansion comes out.
Probably need to do it every expansion.
We just need to sit down with you, turn on the recording, and just spend 30 minutes building the updated milkshake. I like that.
The problem that I've had with Milkshake right now is that in Wild, which is where I play it, because so many of the good Milkshake cards are now in there, there is so much damn power level that my Milkshake is just... There was a small period there where I feel like I could actually compete. I actually got to like rank 1 or something with just Milkshake.
Just milkshaking?
Yeah. And then slowly over time, it's like, nope, it's not nearly as good as that deck anymore. But maybe a Talanji could turn that around. We'll see.
Maybe.
And did you talk about Mass Hysteria? Because this card is amazing. Amazing from a flavor perspective, I should clarify.
No, that actually just came out, I think, like today or yesterday, right? So
I think this was a today thing because I don't remember even seeing it. This is my first time seeing Mass Hysteria. Yeah, so Mass Hysteria is a 5-mana rare pre-spell that reads, force each minion to attack another random minion.
So if you have nothing on the board, you just force all of their guys to attack each other.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. It's like
kind
a brawl.
Kind of like Brawl, yes, exactly.
Yeah. But like a literal brawl you get to watch happen. Instead of them all just going into a dust pile, you actually just like watch them like bang, bang, that sounds awesome.
For the record, Brawl is way better.
I mean, maybe. This could actually clear the whole board, though.
This is the potential for it, but I feel like there's a higher potential for it not to clear anything. I guess,
but you wouldn't do it to a board that, like, if you looked at the board, like it'll always clear something because something will have enough attack to kill something else, right? But like, let's say somebody were to just somehow drop a bunch of 8/8s on you, you'd be like Mass Hysteria. They all hit each other. They're dead.
Fair.
I think that's dope.
You're saying in Wild, a Paladin that just set their life to 1 and is dropping giants like they're hot.
Well, the problem is they do have 3, and then I have to wait another turn. But no, but I mean, to me, it's like, Brawl is one of those where you just throw it down and then you just like hope for the best result. Here, at least you can kind of look and say, okay, I think this has a really good chance. Like you can kind of, I don't know, mathematically determine how often you're going to get a good result here, more than like Brawl, where it's just, Narferef in the chat room is also saying, think about Mass Hysteria with Overkill minions on board. And now I'm starting to paint a picture of why they didn't want Overkill to trigger on your opponent's turn. Yeah. You wouldn't even be able to play it if it was like their turn. They had Overkill minions on the board.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe I'm discounting this card more than I should.
I think this card has a lot of potential, and I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
In a Control Priest, another way to just murder your opponent's board. Yep. I think that's good.
Let's also talk about Grave Horror. Grave Horror is a 12-mana, 7/8 rare priest minion with Taunt, and it also reads cost 1 less for each spell you've cast this game. That should have been in freaking Paladin. Why is this in Priest?
It's weird.
Also,
well, they have
be
a couple.
An 8/8 because it works like a giant.
It's like an arcane giant,
but it doesn't have giant in the name.
I know, but it's just it's weird.
Not
to
a
work
giant.
like
it's
a giant.
horror.
Yeah. Still, I think it
also
should
has
be an
Taunt.
8/8. It does have taunt. Yeah, it does have taunt.
Like taunt is a thing that matters here.
But I almost feel like that's almost worse. I don't know.
Wait, is Dills defending taunt? What? Wow, what has happened in the universe?
Taunt is worth something. It's like taunt is.
It's worth something, but I think it makes this worse than the straight up giant, because a giant I can hide behind a taunt and then either choose to trade or hit a face. Yeah. But putting up a taunt like this, like, I don't know.
If you get this to 7 mana, it's like a fair card. If you get it to 6/5, anything below that, then it's a good tempo card. The question to me that I have is like, there needs to be more payoff than Grave Horror and I don't know, the legendary weapon, the Dragon Soul and stuff like that, to be playing a bunch of cheap spells and priest to try to like get the that's. I don't think that's enough payoff for what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
Also, you think about the payoff for other
spells
things.
aren't that great.
I kill you. This is like, oh, I play a cheap 7/8 that then you kill and never did anything, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Also dedicating the deck slots to Grave Horror. There's no
immediate... I mean, so Sand Drudge, though, is, I guess, the other potential payoff for this. And then also there's Lyra. Like, there's stuff.
Yeah,
Dragon Soul making free 5/5s.
Yeah, Sand Drudge, because we haven't talked about it yet, is a 3-mana 3/3 common priest minion that reads, whenever you cast a spell, summon a 1/1 zombie with taunt.
Yeah, and the fact that it has taunt is interesting because it's like, you know, think about like Violet Teacher, the students don't protect the teacher.
Yeah.
The zombies protect your Sand Drudge. So, you know, it's like, okay, I can flood, but the problem too is I flood a bunch of 1/1 dudes and then I don't have Savage Roar.
Yeah, then what are you gonna do with 1/1s? Yeah.
I guess I just let them sit there.
Because you can't really, priests can't buff their board either.
I mean, there are some buffs like there's extra arms and there's, you know, but they're like single target.
That's single target. Yeah, you can't just say like give all my minions, you know, +1/+1 or something.
I play raid leader.
Yeah, their single target buffing capability has historically been bananas, but their board wide buffing is non-existent.
Yeah, so I don't know why I would want a token generating priest card.
But it's like, it's just on the way to my, like, that's the thing. It's like, it's on the way to my other payoff, which I'm just not seeing yet. So
maybe it's that one epic we haven't seen yet.
That one epic. Yeah. Possibly.
Maybe. Or, you know, it could just be seed cards for future Hearthstone. We don't know.
But I mean, so there was briefly a time where I think it was, who was it? Maybe it was Zelay. Somebody was playing like this kind of miracle priest thing that was playing the weapon, was playing auctioneers and Lyra and stuff, and was just kind of using that to draw a lot and then eventually get to a Mind Blast combo. So like, even though like all the stuff was in there that was like, oh, I draw a lot and now it's like I can draw a lot and make tokens, stall the game out with those tokens, play Grave Horrors, stall the game out with those. The 5/5s are kind of just there to also stall the game out, maybe get a little damage in. Then eventually they would drop the Death Knight, and then they would like combo you out with Mind Blast. Like, maybe that's a thing you can now do. Maybe there's some extra tools for it. So it's possible.
Yep. Then there's Regenerate, 0 mana, restore 3 health.
So this card is actually, there's some stuff here because you can play Zarek's Cloning Gallery with Akanai Soul Priest, Velen, and then you can 0 cost, you know, regenerate them for like a lot of damage, right? So
yeah, because it doesn't say to a minion. It's not like it's just straight up restore 3 health. So yeah,
they can go anywhere.
There's possible combos there. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, oh man, 0 mana spells always make me nervous.
Sure. Yeah, they always should, because they can always do broken stuff.
Yeah, they can get so broken so fast.
So currently within the Zarek's Cloning Gallery, you don't run the Akanais and stuff because you don't want to get them out. But maybe this goes in and now you can use Mind Blast plus this and plus Akanai, and it just gives you more ways to just hit him in the face for a lot of damage. So
yeah,
possible. Actually,
I do like that deck. I think that deck is really cool. So giving it more tools and making it more popular, sure. But
yeah, it's right now it's like super close to being a tier 1 deck. It's right in that like kind of low tier 2 slot, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it did win DreamHack, so
sure, yeah. And it's gotten rank 1 before, but it's still a hard deck to pilot. And
it is hard, yeah.
yeah, it's like it's still got some really bad matchups. So,
Yeah.
Does Malagos affect these spells with Soul Priest? Someone in chat is saying yes. So, I mean, that seems weird. That seems like it shouldn't, but okay.
Well, I guess because the
Once you turn it
Akanai
into
turns them into a damaging spell. So
Sure, I can see that.
Also, it's another spell for the pool of Lyra.
yeah,
Yeah, and another cheap spell to play with your Grave Horror and your Sand Drudge and blah blah blah. So
I
yeah,
don't
So
think
on.
that'll be a thing.
So on and so forth.
Drudge Priest.
Yep. All right. We ready for some bonkers stuff? You ready to talk
Yarr!
ready to talk about Rogue? All right. Let's start with the champion. So Rogue's champion is Captain Hooktusk, and it's an 8-mana 6/3 legendary pirate with a battle cry that reads: summon 3 pirates from your deck, give them rush.
okay.
So if they didn't have rush before, they do now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The weird thing about this, I mean, the weird thing about this, I think most of my pirates I want to play out and get whatever their effect is, right? So there's like a few pirates that I would put into this deck, and then I go, well, wait, I don't want to just pull them out of my deck for free and not get their battle cry. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, just summoning out, I mean, that's just a lot of tempo in one card. So, and the fact that it's like draw and play them and then give them rush.
It's also 8 mana, so it's happening later in the game. Are the battle cries worth as much?
Yeah, but there's like there's certain pirates like you just can't play if you're playing this, right? Like we're gonna talk about one in a second, the Bloodsail Howler. You don't want that in your deck if you're running Captain Hooktusk because they have like anti-synergy with each other. So
Yeah.
But I guess if you have it in your hand, then you play this, then you get on turn 10, you get a bunch of pirates, then you play Bloodsail Howler, and then you get it +3/+3. So I mean, there's stuff. It's just I don't know yet. The effect seems powerful, but it also seems kind of balanced in just how late it comes out and how the pirates kind of work.
Yeah, yeah. And then we have another new pirate card. So everybody saw Cannon Barrage from BlizzCon. That was the 6-mana rogue spell that deals 3 damage to a random enemy and repeats for each of your pirates. But we
Which
also
is so cool.
yeah. Since last episode, we've also seen Raiding Party, which is a 3-mana rare rogue spell that reads: draw 2 pirates from your deck, combo, and a weapon.
So I'm wondering what that weapon's going to be, if it's going to be in these last 2 common cards, because I don't know if the current set of weapons are anything that you really want.
Yeah.
Would you ever have like a Kingsbane pirate deck?
Maybe. Because there is the combo pirate that buffs them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible that that's what you do. And then, yeah, you get more ways to get that weapon out.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is extremely targeted draw.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's cool. Yeah. I mean, even if 3 mana just draw 2 pirates is like fine value, right? If you're playing a pirate specific deck, and then sometimes you get the extra weapon on top of it. So
Yep. But
definitely I play this in my pirate deck.
it's also playing against Captain Hooktusk a little bit in that it's drawing pirates from your deck, where Captain Hooktusk makes me think you kind of want pirates still hanging out in your deck so that you just summon them and give them rush.
Yeah.
So there's this kind of competing ideas here. Also, I mean, the pirates we've seen, like, actually, have we seen Bloodsail Howler? Is that another new one that just came out today?
That one just came out, so we haven't talked about that one yet.
All right, so let's talk about Bloodsail Howler. It's a 2-mana 1/1 rare rogue pirate with rush and a battle cry that reads: gain +1/+1 for each other pirate you control.
So again, yeah, you don't want to pull that out with Hooktusk because you want that battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a bunch of pirates on board for this to be, because you need it to probably be at least a 3/3, right? For it to be worth.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like a 2-mana 2/2 with rush is not going to impact too many things. So, but I mean, it definitely, like, I'm intrigued at what this pirate deck looks like, because it's not the general aggro type pirate deck that we're used to seeing, right?
No, and we're now seeing rush on 2 pirate specific cards, which is not an aggressive keyword in the first place. It's
aggressive tempo wise, but it's not
Yes.
aggressive face wise.
if we're not aggressive in killing the opponent.
Yeah.
So
actually, in Wild the other night, I had on like my whatever account, I had a quest to do pirate stuff, and in Wild I just made a wild pirate rogue that was I just murdered their face on like turn 4 or something like that. I was like, I forgot how powerful pirates are when you just get them all going, right?
pirate rogue
whole thing starts to happen.
Pirate Rogue is still probably my second favorite thing to do in Wild. I just love getting cannon shots.
Run people over, you know?
I love it.
Here, though, it's like it's like a late game pirate deck.
What does that even mean? We're not sure. It's something we haven't seen before. It's not something that's currently played at all. It's completely against the pirate decks that have been popular in the past. So it's another wait and see.
It's super wait and see. I don't know how to build this deck.
Chat room's also bringing up Lab Recruiter, which is interesting because if you had like who's the guy in Pirate Warrior? He was such a pain in the ass. The buffs all your other pirates.
South Sea Captain.
South Sea Captain, yeah. So what if you like recruitered your South Sea, and then you pull 3 South Seas out of your deck with Hook Tusk, like,
and they all have rush,
and they all buff each other. That seems real good. And they also buff Hook Tusk, because she's a pirate too. So
that is pretty gross.
And then you Bloodsail Howler on top of that, get +4/+4 for the 3 summon pirates and Hook Tusk, and then he rushes in too, and if he's buffed with captains as well.
Only they can hit face though.
Yeah, but you're still not hitting face and winning the game. So.
Well, but you're potentially like clearing up the board and stuff, and then that's just a lot to deal with.
Yeah, but you're
clearing the board and you're leaving stuff behind. That's really a good thing to do in Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's a stall tactic though, which makes me think of Kingsbane. It's like, well, what am I stalling for? How am I winning the game? Maybe it's Kingsbane.
Yeah.
No, that's true. If you have infinite lifesteal weapon that is getting buffed and buffed and buffed as the game goes on.
Yeah.
And you're using pirates to just kind of control the board. Sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it. I mean, it seems to me, I look at this, I'm like, oh, this is a strange course correction. It's like, we want Murloc synergy, but we don't want it to be face directed. And it's like, well, let's give them all these Murloc type buffs, but they only get rush. And also rush is only for turn 1. So, well, the turn you play it. So We'll see.
Yeah, it's not like they can never go face. And then you've got a board full of pirates, and then the next turn you cannon barrage, and you just kill them.
Yep. I wouldn't be mad about my Murlocs and my Murloc Mage. Most of them having rush. That wouldn't be a bad thing. It wouldn't be a downside.
That'd be totally fine.
Yeah. So
better than summoning sickness.
It's not pirate synergy, but it's pirate theme. So I figured while we're on the pirate talk, let's at least mention Walk the Plank. It's a 4-mana common rogue spell that reads destroy an undamaged minion. So
seems good.
The opposite execute.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fairly costed. Definitely going to see this in Arena a lot. I'm just wondering if, while we still have 5 mana 3/4 kill anything with combo, do we play this as well, or does this put too much redundancy in our deck? Right. That I think is the question for me, because we don't play Assassinate because they're like the same card, Vile Spine Slayer in that. So
and Vile Spine rotates because that's Ungoro, right?
It will rotate, after this set is out. So then at that point, like, what options do we have for just like hard removal? Walk the Plank seems pretty solid at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now it might not be the thing. We'll see. But it definitely in Arena, because you're just like, oh yeah, kill a thing. Yes, please.
I love how my perception of hard removal has changed in Hearthstone so much over the years, because when we first got in and started doing the show and I was playing Magic, it was just like, oh yeah, hard removal, it's amazing, it's so good, it's all you need, just keep taking it. But I'm not over the moon about Walk the Plank.
Sure. Well, because a lot of times in Hearthstone, just because, a Magic hard removal is so important because your opponent can sit back and not attack with a minion, right? And then you can just never clear it. You need a spell to do it. In Hearthstone, my minions are removal, so
right.
It's just the way the game systems work differently makes the valuation of those things different. And it's like you just don't often. It's if you're removing, you're spending mana not developing your game plan. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like, that's why Vile Spine is so freaking good, because you kill something and you leave a 3/4 behind.
Mm-hmm. Does both.
That's awesome. Yeah. This is like 4 mana, kill your thing. Now what do I do with the rest of So we'll see.
Yeah. Can I have a 1 mana 3/4, please?
Sure.
All right, well, let's talk Loa. We already saw Spirit of the Shark. That was the your minions' battle cries and combos triggered twice, so that's the Spirit for Rogue. But we've finally seen the Loa, which is Grawl the Shark. It's a 5-mana 2/2 legendary rogue beast with a battle cry that reads, eat a minion in your deck and gain its stats. Death Rattle, add it to your hand.
Cool.
This is one of the coolest cards
cool.
ever.
Yeah.
I love the design of this card so much.
I don't know if it's good. What I do know is it's awesome.
Yes. I just love the idea of like the shark swallowing a minion whole and like being super strong, and then like the minion like slicing its way out of its belly at the end going, oh God, oh, I made it. Okay, I'm here. Let's do this.
It's
a real fun visual for me.
The minion should come out with a debuff, just for the record. Like just like a what -1/1. Just like, you don't know what I've seen.
Shark guts, yeah.
The things I've seen.
So when you combine it with your spirit too, it'll eat 2 minions. Because the battle cry will happen twice. It'll eat 2 minions, gain both of their stats, and then it'll death rattle both of those minions into your hand. Yeah. That's cool, man. I love that. And the fact that this is a 4 and then this is a 5, it's like, hey, the Spirit and the Low work together. Wow, you did it.
Imagine that.
Yeah. It's dope. The problem is that there's this thing called silence. That's kind of sad.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, just because there's silence doesn't mean people don't play Van Cleef. Like, there's only so many things that you can silence. There's only so many viable silences in Hearthstone now. So I think, the fact that it could be hexed or polymorphed or silenced, I don't think necessarily means that this is bad. I just think it means, like, you maybe build a deck that has a lot of things that your opponent might want to silence so that you'll get Grawl to go off, or you'll get, whatever else to go off.
The thing, though, is that, like, when you Van Cleef, you only spent 3 mana on it. When you play this and it gets silenced, you spent 5 mana for a 2/2, and you literally just lost a card in your deck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like the
well, but I mean, Van Cleef,
the bad things are worse.
You pay 3 for him, but then you also had to do a whole bunch of other things in your turn.
But your other things did their thing. They did whatever their card was worth. So it's like, like what I'm saying is the drawback to getting silence is pretty harsh on this card. Whereas the drawback to, like, that's why you do see some cards not see play, is that when the drawback is terrible, that's when it's like, oh no, I shouldn't play this. And the drawback here is pretty freaking bad. But I've also seen other people talking about all the cool things you can do. What Chad is talking about now is put the darkness in your deck.
Darkness,
and then play 5 mana 22/22. That's kind of sweet. But you'd have to make
you have a darkness in your hand when it dies.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
You'd have to make a very specific kind of deck, though, that doesn't run a lot of minions. So
I kind of think that that's the deck that you want to create, though, right? That maybe only has, like, and even I don't even know if you necessarily need to have the spirit. Like, it's cool if it does it twice, but what if it eats your spirit? Like, but if you just had like Grawl, and then 1 or 2 things that you wanted him to eat, like say some giants or something, then I feel like there could be a really cool shark deck that just involves him eating something from your deck.
You would need ways to make more Grawls, though, because then a silence or a hex, you just lose the game.
Well,
you can also play it with
Grawls.
Yeah.
You can you can gang them up in wild. You can lab recruiter in standard. You can do stuff. You can also, like people are talking about in chat right now too. There is now the weapon, so you can call and immediately like hit with the weapon and get whatever that card is, and then you'll get another one when Grawl dies. Like
that's where I think the interest in a combo is, because it's more controllable.
Yeah,
is what can I guarantee I get off a Necreum Vial, Grawl, Death Rattle with that limit of a deck that it's that controllable, that it's a win condition.
Yeah, it's just it just seems fun to try to build this deck to me. Like, this just seems super cool and interesting. So I'm definitely gonna be messing around with this. I'm gonna lose lots and lots of stars while I try to make a Grawl combo deck.
Yeah, do it in wild.
And also, we should talk about the Gurubashi Hype Mon, because
I just love that there's a guy called a Hype Mon as a troll. It's so good. But it's anyway, the Gurubashi Hype Mon is a 7 mana 5/7 epic rogue minion with a battle cry that reads: discover a 1/1 copy of a battle cry minion. It costs 1.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Make another Grawl.
Make a Grawl.
Yep.
It's not
And if
from
you
your
eat a
deck
5/7.
though, so.
If you eat a 5/7 with your Grawl, that's not bad.
I mean, my biggest issue with Grawl is like starting. It's 5 mana with a 2/2 base. I'm like, that's not that exciting. But a 1/1 base for 1 mana that gains stats.
It's almost
That's
like
way
a
better.
it's almost like a 4 mana discount on Grawl because really that extra 1/1 isn't a big deal.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's stuff here, man, and I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped, man.
And I think the reason, because chat room is asking why it costs 7 mana, I think the reason it costs 7 mana is because you're potentially getting a 1/1 minion for 1 that could be absolutely ridiculous. Captain Hooktusk for 1 mana. Okay.
Sure. you have to stat this in such a way that it can't just come out on like 3 and then you instantly have some insane like minion, you know.
Yeah.
That then you're getting back in Barnes territory. Like it happening on 7 is fine.
Yep. And you have more control over it because of the Discover. So,
Yes.
I like it. I'm also hyped, Mon. Zentimo. We're moving into Shamans, and we're going to talk about their champion, which is Zentimo, a 3 mana 1/3 legendary Shaman minion, which reads whenever you target a minion with. Oh wait, we already covered this.
We talked about this last week.
Yeah, I was really excited about Zentimo, but now I remember why I put this in here. It was because we saw new cards that seemed like they, you might want it to target adjacent minions with the Zentimo on the board, and one of those is Big Bad Voodoo. A 2 mana epic shaman spell that reads give a friendly minion death rattle, summon a random minion that costs 1 more. So it's an evolved death rattle.
Which I think is super cool.
It's a 2 mana evolve, which is for 1 minion, which is bad, right?
But combined with.
But if you use it with Zentimo, then it's evolving 3 things, which you currently can't do. Unstable evolution is definitely still just better than this because you can just doing it until you get the thing you want. But with Zentimo, sure. Also,
I really like evolve mechanics, and I want them to do more with it, and I want it to be more powerful and more viable. So
I like them not just being the board wide ones that they were doing before too. Like I think the
targeted ones.
Yeah, the storm was the Stormbringer, whatever it is, the 7 mana turn them all into legendaries. Like that's a cooler way to do it than 1 mana evolve everything on your board. It's like, whoa, dude. Even in Wild now, I still just get really friggin' annoyed with evolve and devolve, just the cards. I love the way that they're doing it now, which is a little more like targeted. There's more, it costs more to do. It's more, it's harder to kind of find that board state where you then want to do it. So I think it's it's pretty cool. And the fact that it just makes your board sticky, even if it didn't evolve them, if it just made them come back. I mean, you're making a board pretty sticky. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially in a class that can bloodlust, right? So.
And then there's also Haunting Visions, a 3 mana epic shaman spell that reads the next spell you cast this turn costs 3 less. Discover a spell.
Okay, so just a free discover a spell.
This
basically,
is such cool dead card protection. Because if this didn't have discover a spell at the end, I'm like, nope, burn it. If this is a paper game, throw it in the shredder because that's a dead card in certain cases, but not anymore.
So, it's literally, it's like you'd have to already want to have played the spell in that turn, but if you do, then you can just be like, okay, well, I also just kind of reload my hand. So it's kind of a crazy card.
It's Primordial Glyph-ish, except that Primordial Glyph keeps the discount until you play the spell, whereas like you would want to play the spell in this turn. Like whatever you discover, you want to play, otherwise you lose the discount, right?
Well, you can play some others.
You can also play other spells.
Yeah, like if you were already going to Volcano that turn and you had Hunting Visions in your hand, you just be like, okay, well, I Hunting Visions first, and then I'm going to do the Volcano I already planned. So,
true.
And also Hagatha will just give you Hunting Visions sometimes, and then a bunch of other spells, and be like, hey, sweet.
It'd be so cool. Yeah, this is great for the Hagatha pool.
This is a better way to do a Primordial Glyph style mechanic, I think, by the way, because you have to, there's actually like decision making. Whereas a Primordial Glyph, you're just like, I got nothing else to do on 2. I guess I'll just glyph.
Yeah.
It's like at least you have to think about it.
Discover's good, man. It's a great mechanic. I'm glad they're still rolling with it.
And doing it in new, fun, and interesting ways. Yeah, it's a cool card.
Yep. I guess you could say Totemic Smash could be uttered in the same breath as Zentimo because it is a targeted spell. It's a 1 mana common shaman spell that deals 2 damage. It has an overkill that summons a basic totem.
I don't even care about the overkill. I just care about the fact that this could go face.
That's true. That is true.
So yeah, you remember our Eureka deck where we popped out a bunch of Malagoses?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, we were using stupid Frost Shock before. Now we can use Totemic Smash as well. Yeah.
I did not think about the Eureka meme deck.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Never mind. I like this card a lot, not just because of the art.
One more spell that's cheap that can go face. This is what Shaman needed.
I love how they're just tormenting Murlocs in the art in this set. There's so many Murlocs that are just terrified.
Yeah, so what's happening here? Like he's getting a totem just dropped on him?
Yeah, a flaming fiery totem.
Well, it's called Totemic Smash. I mean, how else do you illustrate Totemic Smash?
That's exactly how I imagined it. He's in the middle of the arena all by himself.
I feel like all the Murlocs in Stranglethorn accidentally wandered into the arena in the middle of all of these battles that are happening, and they're just like, what do we get ourselves into? We're not prepared. And they're all just running around screaming and dying.
I like to think it's in between matches and just a shaman in the stands is bored, and there's just like a little Murloc running around. He's like, I'm going to see if I can throw my totems and hit that guy. That's my story behind Totemic Smash.
All right.
Anyways, so that's enough about Zentimo's synergy stuff. Let's talk about Shaman's Loa, which we still have not seen, but we know it's going to be Kragwa the Huge.
Yep.
But he has not been revealed yet, but we have seen the Spirit, which is Spirit of the Frog, a 3-mana, 0/3 rare Shaman minion with stealth for 1 turn. So all the freaking spirits have stealth for 1 turn. What's important is that whenever you cast a spell, you draw a spell from your deck that costs 1 more.
All right.
Draw engine.
So evolving your spells.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, certainly, you're drawing it from your
spells. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still spells you.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're
deck,
drawing it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're essentially like cashing in a spell for another spell that's slightly stronger.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know though if you really like, man. So if you're playing, I could see this being used in that Malagos Eureka deck because whenever I Volcano, I get my Eureka, right? There's like interesting stuff like that where I can kind of target draws. So there's ways to, like think about.
There's ways to build around this, I think. I'm interested to see what the Loa is going to be that's going to work alongside drawing specific mana costed spells. Like I have no idea what that's going to look like. I was super excited for Kragwa because I don't know if you guys have like played through all of Nazmir in
he's
Warcraft.
the best Loa with besides Bonsambi.
Totally
He's the best Loa that's like animal themed.
The best animal Loa. But you get to like do so many cool things with him, and you get to like climb on his back, and he has like big AoE stomp attacks and giant tongue lick attacks and stuff, and he's super, super cool mechanically in Warcraft. And so I'm just, I was really looking forward to that, but I have no idea how that would now fit into what we've seen the Spirit of the Frog to be. So I think Kragwa is probably the Loa I'm most interested in that like we haven't seen yet. I'm super stoked to see what they do with this. I think it's going to be cool. I hope it's cool.
Yeah, this just seems like a good spirit in general. I mean, draw engines excite me, and because of the fact that this will draw a spell that costs 1 more, you have some knowledge of what you're about to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and,
targeted draw.
And chat room saying maybe it's when you cast a spell, add 1 cost higher spell to your deck. So like if you play Kragwa and the Spirit at the same time and then cast a spell, you're like putting the spell 1 higher in your deck and also drawing it then with the Spirit. I could see that.
That's interesting
working.
To a certain degree. I hope they're not tied that closely though, because I would like to just get value. Because with Spirit of the Frog, it's easy to look at this card and be like, yeah, I don't even need the Loa, and I can do things with the Spirit. I don't want to look in Kragwa and be like, ooh, I need the Spirit to really feel I'm getting some mileage out of this card. But it's. I would assume it has something to do with spells. Now that we're looking at the Spirit here. We also saw a new Shaman weapon. It's called Lickum. It's a 2-mana, 1 attack, 3 durability rare Shaman weapon that has +2 attack while you have overloaded mana crystals. So it's a 3/3 if you're overloaded.
Yeah. But
more importantly, It is a frog with a
frog that licks
stuck-out
you.
tongue. Yeah.
I,
You're
Okay,
licking
so
people with a frog tongue.
my question is, where do those overloaded crystals have to be? Like, if you have this, and then let's say the next turn you play wolves, does that count as you being overloaded? Because the overload hasn't actually affected you until the next turn, right?
I think it still counts because they're tracked in the UI, right? It's
Yeah, but
very
they're not-
obvious that
you don't-
even though they're not like active overload, I still
But
think
you don't have any crystals at that point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think if the way I want it to work is I want it to wait until the next turn when they actually click in, and now you have crystals that are overloaded. You have future crystals that will be overloaded, but you don't currently have overloaded crystals. So that's how I hope it works, because I think then it's a more interesting card with a lot more planning and stuff.
I mean, it's always been Overload's bag, right? In the very early days of the show, we were talking about Overload. We were like, this is cool because you have to think about your next turn at all times if you're running Overload cards.
But like, yeah, if you can just play this and then just play an Overload card and instantly have a 3/3 weapon, I'm like, well, that's that's kind of why we didn't
that's
like.
That's how I would assume that it worked, but
I assume the other way, but we'll have to wait and see, or maybe Chad already knows. But you get it this turn and next turn too. Okay, interesting. So they count future overload crystals as current overload crystals then. Got it.
Well, it just says if you have overloaded mana crystals. So
I mean, yeah, I get that, but I guess
the
way I technically think of it is that you don't have overloaded mana crystals. You know that next turn you will, but right now you don't yet. That's the way I think of it anyway, right?
Apparently it was in the reveal video. So.
Okay, cool. Then it's a super powerful card. So,
yes.
I watch one reveal video every reveal season, and that's Real Life Hearthstone, which was for Zul'jin this time, and it was amazing.
Yeah, this card that makes this card super good to me. We'll see. It also, though, you'll have to play it in a deck where you want to be overloading a decent amount of the time, right? And I'm not sure that's necessarily out there. So,
well, maybe this fits in with your kind of spell spirit decks, though, right? Because maybe you want to throw things like lightning bolts and lightning storms and volcanoes. They all overload you, so.
Yeah, if you play this in like the Eureka combo Mally deck, this is a good way to kind of keep the board clear while you wait to get your stuff.
It's not like there's a dearth of low cost overload cards either. There's still plenty of them laying around from the classic and basic set.
Yeah.
So if you want to try building a more modern overload shaman, there are plenty of tools to do so. But I'm with you, Jocelyn. I think if we're looking at making a spell heavy shaman, you're gonna overload. It's gonna happen eventually. Yeah. So I like them. There's definitely potential for like them for sure.
Oh no, it seems real good.
Last shaman card.
It kind of worries me because remember we used to have the weapon with spell power stuff that ended up ended up being like super OP and had to get nerfed, and it was just annoying. I'm just like, oh god, please don't make this card like an annoying card like that. But I think though the paying the overload cost is a drawback still, so should be okay.
Overload isn't the same as spell power because then you would like roll the spell power totem and then like clear the board and also have a buffed weapon and
when you just 1 out of 4 times you just ended up with a 3 attack weapon.
And then you maelstrom portaled and cleared the board. That
also cost only 1 too, right? This cost 2, so
Bog Slosher is our last shaman card. It's a 3-mana 3/3 rare shaman elemental with a battle cry that reads: return a friendly minion to your hand and give it +2/+2.
So this instantly just goes into Shudderwalk Shaman because it's just like another way to. It's like one more battle cry to try to get multiple Shudderwalks at the end, right? Because people are playing Zola for essentially this reason, and you're playing Grumble, obviously. Now here's like one more thing so that if any of these go off before, like it's now 3 battle cries that'll have to happen before your Chain Gang battle cry. That's not going to happen as often, right? So it's like just more ways to ensure that you're going to get extra Shudderwalks. Seems good.
Yep. All right, we're moving on to Warlock. And we've seen almost all of them, but we haven't talked about Grim Rally yet. And it's a 1-mana rare Warlock spell that reads: destroy a friendly minion, give your minions +1/+1.
Seems like a zoo style card, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of like this. Yeah. Anything where there could potentially be like a little crappy minion, or maybe like in Zoo you make a trade and then you've got maybe like a 3/1 or something, and then you just kill that with Grim Rally and then buff your whole rest of your board. Like, I can see how this could work in a really cool, powerful way.
Yeah, I mean, we're not excited about this with Harik, right? Because Harik fills your board with 1/1s, but we're not that excited about making a bunch of 2/2s.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't think you like play a board full of 1/1s and then destroy one of them to have 6 2/2s.
Yeah. Also,
I don't think
by the way, this is kind of weird because we've got the spirit, and that's kind of it, right? As far as like ways to make your Harik super awesome. Like, I'm just like, it's weird. I was expecting to see all sorts of
hand buffy things.
Yeah, like, but all we really got is the 1 mana guy that buffs the leftmost card in your hand.
Yeah,
spirit,
which is from a previous expansion. That's not
now we're out of stuff at that point. So I guess Harik kind of sucks.
Unless the last 2, because we still have 2 common Warlock cards that we haven't seen yet, right? So maybe that's it.
Yeah, but yeah, Grim Rally, like I can definitely see this going into a Zoo deck. I don't know though if Zoo is currently tokeny enough, right? Like it's a little bit more.
When Garrett and I were playing earlier today, we had a Zoo player that played Kobold, Coin, Heal Face 2/1 dude, and then 2 Happy Ghouls, and there were 4 minions on the board on turn 1. So
I mean, that's.
But in that scenario, do you need to Grim Rally next turn to you know what I mean? Like, you already did the thing.
You attack with a 2/1 into face, and then you Grim Rally it, and then you've got 2 4/4s and also a 3/2.
Yeah.
Seems better.
I just think more about things like Implosion and stuff, where back in the day you used to be able to generate a lot more tokens in Zoo, and nowadays you're basically just playing minions out of your hand. And yes, you can play a lot of them and they're cheap and stuff, but we'll see if this actually makes the cut. But that seems to be where it would go. Yeah. And then it also does make things like eggs a little more viable in Zoo, which definitely used to be part of the package.
Yes, yeah.
They're no longer there.
I miss eggs.
But I think this is really cool.
I miss eggs in my Zoo. I like this card a lot. Like I feel we've landed on this at least 3 other times in this episode, but this is the one where I'm not so sure it's good right now. But there's a lot of power potential here. So, Warrior. And then it looks like we're going to just have to shelve neutrals until next episode because this already got on too long. Warrior, their Loa is it Akali?
Yes.
All right. Akali the Rhino. Akali the Rhino is an 8 mana 5/5 legendary warrior beast with Rush. It also has Overkill, and that Overkill is draw a Rush minion from your deck. Give it +5/+5.
A lot of mana to pay for this 5/5 with Rush. I don't know. This is another like wait and see, I think, because I can only really see this working in a deck built around the Rush mechanic, and right now that deck is not very good. So, is this enough of a change? Is this card big enough of an impact to go into that deck and then push it forward?
I think with the Spirit, maybe. So the Spirit is the 1 mana 0/3. It's got stealth for a turn. The important thing, your Rush minions are immune the turn they're summoned.
Yeah. So yeah, if you get a bigger Rush minion and then you've got your Spirit of the Rhino, the fact that it's 1 mana means you can kind of early on push a big tempo lead by just rushing out minions, killing your opponent's minions, and none of your Rush minions die, right? And then later on, like the 5/5 like guy is probably not gonna die anyway. So it's just to me, it just seems like I'm not sure. These are the 2 cards that are getting added to it. There are still a couple of cards we haven't seen yet.
I think that's the reason that the Spirit for the Warrior is 1 mana, is so that you can get more mileage out of it earlier on.
Yeah, and it has to. There needs to be a lot for the Rush Warrior to kind of come into its own, right? Because it's pretty far. A lot of people were excited about that deck, and then really, really tried. Like I think there's a lot of people who were trying very hard to make it work, and it just never quite got there. So we'll see if these 2 tools and then maybe whatever else they get is enough. But I'm skeptical right now.
Yeah.
That being said, I hope that it does because I want to see more options than just odd control warrior.
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's enough.
I want to see some sort of tempo-y something which might be what we're gonna get with dragons, right? Seems to be a lot of dragon warrior synergy in this expansion.
There is.
I'm hopeful for Rush. I think the Spirit is a big boon for Rush Warrior. You can put 2 of them in your deck. Akali is cool, but you need to get to 8 mana first. I'm really excited for Dragon Warrior, especially with the cards that have been unveiled since we last got together. Now, I guess let's talk about Warmaster Voon first. So Warmaster Voon is a 4-mana 4/3 legendary. This is the champion for warriors, and its battle cry is copy all dragons in your hand.
Massive value.
Yeah.
If you have just 2 dragons, you're playing a 4-mana 4/3 that just
double
makes
dragons.
Yeah. Whoa.
I heard the music as you said it. I heard it. Yeah.
But right now, how many other dragon things are we getting? We got the Ember Scale. We got the neutral.
Well, actual dragons.
Still not seeing a whole lot, so we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, there's still 2 warrior cards to be revealed. We'll see.
I hope one of them is a dragon, because I feel like just one more warrior dragon, I think would really make this super
I don't think there's any more legendary neutrals left either. So I'm like, where was the dragon there? It's kind of weird. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, man, there's not enough dragon stuff yet for me to get excited, but it's just missing a couple pieces, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's okay, Dills. If you find Warmaster Voon, he'll give you enough pieces.
True. I mean, yeah, I wonder if the current stuff that's out there is going to be good enough.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the new dragon pieces besides Warmaster Voon. Ember Scale Drake is a 5-mana 5/5 rare warrior dragon with a battle cry that reads, if you're holding a dragon, gain 5 armor.
Okay.
It's not
so this is why it's the holding a dragon part. Although if you're making copies, then you're probably
you should be holding dragons. Yeah. If you copy this guy once. Here's the weird thing about Voon, though, is it still also to me seems like this dragon deck is most likely going to be an odd warrior dragon deck. And Voon can't go in that deck. So I don't even know how this is going to work. Because this Ember Scale seems to me like, yeah, that definitely is like an odd thing, just gaining some armor. And then you have, your Shield Bash, and then you've also got the Smolder Thorn Lancer. That's like your execute in your odd deck now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the whole thing, it's like, man, I'm like, this just don't seem to work as well together as I want them to. But we'll have to see.
Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe they realize that these odd and even decks are as powerful as they'd like them to be, and they don't necessarily want to make Odd Warrior more powerful. So the way that they're doing that is saying, okay, well, the thing that's going to give you more dragons is going to be an even card. So if you want to go down the road of Dragon Warrior, then you're not going to get the, Baku effects or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the Crowd Roaster, which is the neutral, is also odd. It's like everything is odd, and then this thing isn't. And I'm like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, Crowd Roaster is the 7-mana 7/4 epic neutral dragon with a battle cry that reads, if you're holding a dragon, deal 7 damage to an enemy minion.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only neutral dragon that we've seen so far. So
yeah, and it does appear all the legendaries have been revealed and no other dragons are in neutral.
And that's
at least so far. There's still a lot of neutrals to be revealed.
It's just bizarre. It's odd. That card is not odd.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. That's why I'm like, okay, we need a couple more things, because I can already see that you could chuck this little mini dragon package into current odd Control Warrior and probably make it work. I'm just struggling to see where there is just a pure Dragon Warrior that then is not odd and just uses a bunch of other dragons.
Maybe Dragon Warrior isn't standard. Maybe Dragon Warrior is wild.
Maybe. Yeah, because you still have a bunch of old Dragon Warriors, like a tempo deck.
Yeah.
These look more like control tools to me. So we'll see if you can kind of throw that whole thing together. Maybe there's a really cool wild deck out there that's tempo with a little bit of control and kind of gets there. We'll see.
Yep. I would be surprised if one more warrior card wasn't dragon themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah.
We got just 3 and then no actual dragons in there outside of the one that's part of the package. So
yep.
When I think package, I think 4 cards at least, right?
Yeah.
When I think food, I think sex. There's a joke there somewhere. That's also a callback, and I'm failing. All right, final card we're going to talk about today is a warrior weapon called Overlord's Whip. It's a 3-mana, 2-attack, 4 durability. It's a common, and it reads, after you play a minion, deal 1 damage to it. So,
that doesn't look like it would only do 1 damage.
Yeah, that whip looks
I
pretty...
mean, it's really...
hell of a whip.
It's really close up. When you pull it back, it's about the size of a standard shark tooth.
So it's got it's a rhino tusk.
The rhino horn, yeah.
So yeah, they've been trying to push this whole deal damage to your own things for a while. Most of the time, warrior wants to be dealing damage to all the things instead of just my things. So I don't know, man. I don't know. 3-mana 2/4 weapon. Like maybe if it was a 3-mana 3/3 weapon, something like that, I could see it getting a little more play, but I'm curious to see how much
2 attack
damage.
2 attack seems a little low.
Yeah, you can have a durability back. Can I have a damage?
Sure. It's like by the time, like, let's say I play this on 3, maybe I kill something that turn, but then turn 4, I'm like, I can't kill anything with this thing anymore. Like, what am I doing with this weapon? So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's enough enrage type things that would actually really benefit from that 1 damage dealt to the minions that you play. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if there's enough there to.
We've had this kind of effect in the past.
Yeah, we have.
Never sees play ever.
Yep.
So I'm skeptical on this one too.
Yeah, and this we haven't seen anything so far this set that we want to deal damage to. So yeah, this kind of seems.
Yeah, and enrage isn't a thing anymore. I know, guys, but you know what I mean. I really don't know why they took that.
What is enrage? I've never heard of this.
I still find it amusing. Well, whatever the case is, I guess we're talking neutrals next week and the stragglers of the class cards.
It's tomorrow is the final reveal stream, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also by the way, next Tuesday is the release date.
Yep.
Tack all day.
Are we looking at Monday shows again?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the show. Huge thanks to our patrons for supporting this podcast. If you enjoy The Angry Chicken, if you like our 2-hour episodes around card reveals, support us over at patreon.com/TAC. On this episode, we want to thank some of our newer patrons. Thank you to Greg T, Eric S, Chris, no last name given, and Dan L. Thank you for the support, everyone. Again, if you'd like to support the show, get early access to signing up for our Angriest Chicken Open community tournaments, and some other perks, head on over to patreon.com/TAC. Keep emails coming, even though we currently do not have time for them, at tacpodcast@gmail.com. You can also drop us a 5-star review. We want to thank our Patreon producers. Huge thanks to Declan H and Sean C. Check out the whole back catalog of episodes at youtube.com/AMoveTV. And we're usually live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AMoveTV. But around the table before we leave, Dills, where can everybody find you?
You can check me out on Twitter. I'm at Willie Dills, and twitch.tv/Willie Dills, where you can find me streaming. I'll be playing tons of Hearthstone, and I looked into my schedule, and looks like around the
I like you less now.
Around the release of Rastakhan's Rumble, I will not be working, so I'll be able to stream a whole bunch of it, and I'm excited for that because, yeah, I remember there was one where I had to work like the next day, and I was like, really, really, all I want to do is play Hearthstone right now. So this time, nope, I'm going to be free and clear. I'm going to be able to play Hearthstone like 5 days in a row. It's going to be dope. So come check me out there.
Jocelyn, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at Joce Plays. That's JOCE Plays. Also, as always, through the months of November and December, I'm reminding you guys you can go to bit.ly/TGI Extra Life 2018. We are still raising money for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. I will be doing another stream on December 8th. We're going to be playing a lot of Hearthstone. I'll also obviously be streaming on Expansion Day. But yeah, if you guys want to donate to that cause, I'm almost at my goal. It's a super, super good cause. Again, all goes to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. So yeah, go check that out.
Definitely go do that, everybody. I'm on Twitter at Garrett Art. All of the podcasts, including this one, are at amove.tv. I've got Into the Nexus on Thursday. If you're a Heroes of the Storm fan, you want to learn more about that game. I've got my solo show, R2T2. There's a dash in between there. That's what you search for if you're looking for it. I recently did a bit on Sylvanas lore retconning. So if that sounds interesting, go listen to that. If that doesn't sound interesting to you, I also got some thoughts on Diablo Immortal. So you can go listen to that. And I am taking graphic design freelance commissions again. Head on over to nomoonart.com. You can save my portfolio and contact me there. That's going to wrap it up for episode 291 of The Angry Chicken. Until Rastakhan's release, or possibly an episode before then if we want to get in more cards. We'll see what happens. Tune in right here. But until then, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!